so this is Sean from Time and Talk. I thought today I'd make a video about our newest purchase, just a quick unboxing and first impressions. You'll be able to see what brand it is and probably the title from the title of the video. I've got me measuring equipment as well so that we can have a look at the dimensions of the watch. So I'll just get the box open. Fiddly to do on camera this. So it's a slightly bigger box than the normal Seiko boxes, and you'll see why in a second. Slightly fancier as well. I think the normal ones are just plain white. Last one I bought was. See what caliber it has in it. So it's a 4R35, and get closer to the camera. This is the watch. So it is the Seiko Prospex Samurai Blue Lagoon. A lovely looking watch with a blue dial. And I was looking at the Samurais, and before I bought, if you've already seen my video, you will know about the SPB series of dive watches. I bought one of those and then I had to take it back because the bezel essentially was so difficult to turn that it was giving me blisters on my finger. And I tried a Samurai on for the first time in the shop when I bought that, and I always thought it was going to be too big because it's very chunky watch, as you can see. I've got tiny wrists, but it wore really well, wore smaller than the 44 millimeters that it claims to be. So I've always fancied one since then, and there's a lot of different examples, if you like, the Samurai, and this one is called the Blue Lagoon, and it is limited to 6,000 pieces worldwide, and the blue is just awesome. I'm gonna turn the camera around actually slightly. We can get slightly less light in the frame. Hope you can see it on here. With a blue bezel as well. And one thing that I'm really mega obsessed with is bezels, particularly on Seiko dive watches, as I don't know whether I'm unlucky or whether Seiko bezels are just rubbish, but I often do get a dud, to be honest. This one is quite good. I'm happy with it, and I'm pretty picky, but it doesn't quite line up as I would like. So that is not perfect, but I think it's acceptable for something in this price range. So we'll try and measure it. A little bit tricky on camera, but the old calipers out. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, of 22mm lug width watches because the bracelet just looks too thick for me on my wrist because I've got tiny wrists. My wrist, if you're interested, is 6¼ inches, so I have very small wrists. But this watch I think looks okay on me. In terms of first impressions, I really like it. The blue is absolutely lovely. It's something a little bit different from the mostly black, mostly dark coloured watches I have. The bracelet is okay. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, of Seiko bracelets on their dive watches. It's the first one I've had disregarding an SKX on a Jubilee. The bezel is better than most of the Seikos I've had, but it's not perfect in terms of the alignment. I'll just show you a wrist shot. So, as I said, my wrist is 6¼ inches, so it's pretty small. I've got a pretty small wrist, but I think this looks okay. If you're thinking it doesn't, it looks huge. The perspective isn't great, obviously, because you know we're facing the wrist straight on. Watches always look bigger, but if you take my word for it, it does look pretty good on my wrist, I think. It's probably on the borderline of being too big for me, but anyone with a wrist size above me, I would imagine, would be able to wear this. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video. It's a lovely, lovely watch. If you've got a Samurai, tell me what you think of them, particularly about the bezels. You know, do you have the same experience with your bezel? If you like my video, please subscribe. Thanks very much.